Welcome one and all. We turn our attention back to last week, the race in Zandvoort. We started at P3, I think they're on the grid. Very good start. Going to turn one, keeping hold of that third position. We had the Williams almost having a look down our inside there of Multi-Rab. But going now in towards that really difficult turn 3, we lose the car, putting way too much power. Going into that corner, the slight kink of 2, and actually losing quite a few positions, dropping on a P6, and contact with Ahmed a couple of laps later on. Just compounded our woes and being sort of stuck in the middle of the pack. And then on lap 3, so we're getting involved in all these sort of tough duels as the guys are very, very close. Contact between Florian and Madchip. Centre McLaren off to the left-hand side and going into the, effectively the final quarter. Florian runs wide, puts the brakes on, and I just can't react. And then we come into the pit lane, forced onto a 2-stop. And apart from, this overtake on Multi-Rab, middle through the race, round the outside, I thought was quite nice. Apart from that, it was a pretty quiet and lonely race, and we ended up in P5, so still solid points, 10 points to our name. So, good recovery drive, I think, in the end. But, of course, we're racing at Spa this week, and on our flying lap now, we run towards the line, running a wet setup. Fun, interesting enough, because there is rain for the race. Rain towards, so we're going to start dry, but then move on to inters and potentially the full wet. So I want to have the security of the wet setup, and hopefully that gives us the pace in the race. We're very, very close in qualifying there.
It's Sunday, and that means it's race time here in Spa. As the cars are being prepared, let's join them trackside for the start of the Belgian Grand Prix. Spa-Francorchamps today, a circuit that spans 4.35 miles. There are tons of elevation changes along the way too. 19 corners making up this circuit, with 9 of those to the right and the remaining 10 to the left. This track is a great one for fans of pure speed. The average lap speed comes close to a whopping 145 miles an hour.
We come to the end of the formation lap. Starting up in P4 behind Atomic, Alex and Florian, and the lights are here now. We have 3, 4 and 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go for the Belgium Grand Prix. It's been an okay start. We're on the outside. We've sort of got to try and go the long way round, trying to avoid anyone diving it up the inside into turn 1. The Williams having a look, then we're forced out wide, sort of hampered there a little bit by the Red Bull now. And as we run down towards Eau Rouge and Radion, we're actually tucking behind Maga on this occasion, make sure we don't lose a position to Ami behind, almost flat out, as we make our way up to the top of Radion, now down their main straight. So use a bit of overtake and following the slipstream from the guys in front. Of course, we're running high downforce, a bit of a sitting duck, but luckily just the toe from the guys in front allows us to keep ahead of Ahmed on this occasion. And I found that the wet setup I've been using a very good sort of very versatile setup. But actually, speaking of versatility, Ahmed down the inside, and he's clearly on our inside. We're going a bit too deep and trying to hold it around the outside, but Ahmed gets ahead and moves themselves up into P5. So you see the guys on the dry setups just have that advantage at the moment. And of course we are lacking a bit of pace. But the middle sector really came alive. Purple in the qualifying, actually. Fastest car in the middle sector, running that higher downforce really did help. Making our way now down towards the Lafanya chicane. Ahmed round the outside. That's a very nice move on Maggot indeed. And he seals it up in the next part. And as we drop now down towards the first part of Stavilo, we're the ones on the back of Maggot. He's gone a little bit deep again. I'm trying to regain the position he took from us. Of course, we actually lost 2 places at the moment. Lurch Day has retired just at Lafanya. Now we're on the back of Maggot, saving our overtake because we're right behind him in the slipstream. We're going to try and boost past him now down towards the bus stop chicane, coming out of Blanchimont. We're on the inside of him, trying to go down the inside. We've just about got ahead. The safety car has come out.
The safety car is out.
And watching that back again, he was actually ahead of me when the safety car called out. He was literally a fraction of a second before I slotted ahead. So, and then we have another fantastic camera angle from Codemaster. They're keeping up their form from F1 2019. The safety car is out, and at the end of lap 3, it is coming in. You see the rain is starting to fall. The rain is starting to come down, and should be where we start to come into our own. In these changeable conditions, we start lap number 4. Of course, we're very close to the guys in front. Florian has gone a little bit too deep into La Source now, and Ahmed is all over the back of him. We've got a little bit of gap, which will be important. I feel like I've got much more confidence going up a Rouge with the downforce. Flat out now, almost, a little bit of a lift. But we're much quicker than Ahmed going up towards top of Brandon. We go off track, and we're given a Almost a penalty there. Illegal overtake on Ahmed. Have to let him back past. And I thought it was a very nice move at the top of Radion. See, end of lap 4, everyone's coming to pit lane for intermediate tyres. Jeff actually recommended me to come in for inters. I decided to ignore him, which actually turned out to be the wrong decision. Luckily enough for me, Billy retiring. Billy retiring there. Then it's Multi-Rab at the top of Radion, followed by Bossmos, our teammate. Really unfortunate for him, and that brings out the safety car. It's a lifeline for us. Alex was looking very quick on the inters straight out of the pit lane, and we do decide to come into the pit lane on this lap and see if we can try and make a bit of a jump here. Use the safety car to advantage. I think Phil, Andrew Ivan and AJC are going to try and do the same. Coming into box at the Mercedes. Nice clean stop from the Merc boys. And we're going to speed this up now as we now make our way towards the source. Of course, we've got the much shorter run on the inside. And we are up into the lead of the race. We've benefited massively sort of by doing the wrong thing. We gained massively, but comes to the end of the safety car period. End of lap 7 now. We're in the lead. We pulled the trigger on when to go. Alex has got into P2, but a great stuff from Phil and Andre Ivan. And we're going now off the final corners. Look at those rears. Very, very cold. We've got a warning for how cold they are. But a decent getaway. And using the wet setup to its full potential in these intermediate conditions. And Andre Ivan actually retiring just after Blanchimont. And that brings out a safety car. And as we come to the end of the safety car period, again, it was a very good exit off the final corner. And we managed to build a gap quite quickly with that wet setup on. But on lap 14, Jeff recommending the wet tyres. See, Alex is on the wet tyres in P4. We're coming into the pit lane now for a set of wet tyres. And I think Jeff, it was very, very touch and go. I think the wets were just a tiny bit better in these current conditions. So we had a small error there leaving the pit box. We're putting the hammer down on the wets and absolutely pushing to our full potential to try and catch the cars in front. Billy Misu was the first person, and we just had much better pace up Eau Rouge and Radion and using ERS. But you see, I think he's running a dry setup because he's not much better pace on me on the straights, and we try and go around the outside of the Alpha Tower. He goes in very, very deep now. Now we're trying to get a bit of a switch back as we make our way through Malmedy. I'm going to try and go clean around the outside of the Alpha Tauri. A bit of a wheel bang as we both sort of lose the rear of the car, but we managed to get ahead. And I think it's sort of a racing incident. Very difficult conditions. And now on the back of Riker, this is for P3 in the race, looking to the outside of the Renault driver as we make our way into Lecon. We just about squeezed our way around the outside. We're sorry, the F2 drivers really struggled with that at Spa this year. We just about made it work, and on the penultimate lap of the race, we're on the back of Alex in the Red Bull. We were up and to overtake right on the back of the Red Bull driver. This is for second place in this race, but actually, effectively, the race leader has about 18 seconds worth of penalties. We go down the inside into Lecom, and this time down the inside has worked very nicely for us. We're up into P2 on the penultimate lap of this race, and we try and get onto the back of Hashtag. Of course, Alex, very, very quick as well. But the Hashtag just seemed to have fantastic straight line speed. Seemed to be lacked a bit of pace in the corner, I think, on those inters, but just managed to get the power down really well. We just couldn't get close to him on this final lap on any of the straights, pulling away massively towards Eau Rouge and Radion. Of course, we went to a bit more, a bit much better pace through there, but gets on the throttle, must have saved a lot of overtake, and away he goes. Because even with overtake, Rich Mix, the slipstream, we just can't quite close on him enough. Have a think about diving around the outside. But he just seems to keep it ahead very well. We try a bit of a switch back, like we did a couple of laps ago, but just can't find a way past on this occasion. As we come around the final corner, you see the battle behind between Alex and Riker very, very close. I think they were separated by half a tenth. We come across the line, and we're going to take our third win of the season. It's been very, very strong so far. And we've got very, very fortunate, I think, once again here in this race. But nevertheless, very, very happy with the result. And I think we have a 20-point lead at the top of the championship. But a lot of guys with a lot of pace. And this championship is definitely not over. I'm not resting on my laurels at all. So we'll see everyone tomorrow for another league racing video as well.